Who among us hasn't swung a punch or kick after watching a Kung Fu movie? I still do it myself, just don't tell anyone. But even Jackie Chan could never be as awesome as the Shaolin monks. These guys don't just fight hard, they possess real superpowers. Today, I'll tell you why they are downright undefeatable. But first, subscribe to our channel and leave a like. That is a Shaolin tradition that can never be broken. The first thing you should know, these monks' biggest secret is simply exhaustive training of their minds and bodies. No magic involved. The Shaolin monks' main weapons are their hands. They subject these to some harsh training. To develop incredible endurance, they punch ice-cold water until they can't feel their hands anymore. Then they move on to the main exercise and practice punching a bag full of iron fillings. This is one of the most popular Shaolin arts, the iron palm technique. After long and tiring training, the hands become like iron, and breaking bricks with their bare hands is child's play. A person who has mastered this technique can easily drive a nail into a wooden board and then pull it out with just his fingers. Just compare how the same trick is performed by an experienced monk and then a novice tries to repeat his success. But not only do they have iron hands, they can shatter bricks with just 2 of their fingers. From an early age, Shaolin disciples train their fingers by striking a tree with them. See these dents in the tree bark? It wasn't woodpeckers which left them, but monks' fingers during their frequent and exhaustive training exercises. Only after long training do the nerve endings in the fingers die and the fingers become just as hard as a hammer. Not only do these monks' hands possess the ability to punch through anything, their whole bodies become a weapon. All thanks to the iron shirt technique, a method of training one's willpower, breathing, and strength. And it can turn a person's body into pure steel. During training, the monks hit one another with such force that they practically punch right through the muscles, thereby tempering them and making them stronger. Thanks to this technique, it is practically impossible to strike a damaging blow on a monk. This all goes to show that you don't need to look like a bodybuilder to be strong. This guy isn't all muscle, but watch a stick shatter as it hits his steel abs. One of the techniques for practicing the iron shirt is lying balanced on spears. This not only makes the monk's body invulnerable to piercing wounds, but it also hones his endurance and his ability to maintain his balance. Training of the head begins with the monks headbutting a wall. They do this daily over many years, and with time, they can easily destroy objects with their heads.
I'm not Ironhead. He is, you see.
Ironhead.
Don't worry, this is just how they train their necks. Yes, even one of the most vulnerable parts of the human body, the throat, is toughened when it comes to these guys. They strike hard objects against their throats until the area becomes so hardened that they stop feeling pain and can withstand any blow. Even the sharpest objects thrust with the greatest force cannot pierce a monk's iron neck. On the contrary, the objects themselves bend at the resistance they meet. But the foundation for all the above-mentioned skills is flexibility. The monks train their flexibility from an early age. Now you will see Shaolin's basic exercise. They not only develop flexibility, they train their muscles all over their body, because maintaining such a position places demands on every single muscle. Once they're older, they can do more than just perform incredible stunts. They can also use that flexibility when striking blows. Balance is an important area for anyone learning the art of Shaolin. Watch as these youngins balance on one leg on logs thrust into the ground with total ease. When training their balance, monks also must perform an exercise where they hold uncomfortable positions with dishes full of water placed on their heads and shoulders. For hours on end, they must maintain their balance in these positions and avoid turning the dishes over. When this already becomes old hat, the saucers are replaced with stones. Good balance always helps in battle, as monks can spend long periods of time in a particular position and they possess unbounded endurance and stamina. In the monkey fighting style, balance is especially important because the main element here is the stick. A Shaolin master balanced on a single stick must move like a monkey. He must be dexterous, agile, and constantly attack the enemy without ever giving him a chance to strike back. After seeing training like this, it's hard to believe that just anyone could master Kung Fu. But take a look at these bikini beauties. They are being taught by Shaolin masters. You're looking here at a team of goddess lifesavers from a Chinese rafting attraction. To make the team, the girls not only had to show up in bikinis, but also master Shaolin-style fighting. But what would happen if Shaolin monks sparred against fighters from other martial arts styles? Would their years of training help them? Let's find out. Yi Long is one of those Shaolin fighters who put their techniques to work in the ring. He learned these techniques on his own, though he represents the Shaolin monastery in the ring. His record already stands at 61 wins, half of which were knockouts. Not bad for somebody self-taught, right? This man is just 172 centimeters tall and he weighs just 72 kilograms. But all of his fights are without mercy and spectacular to witness. In the final MAS fight, he went against the Korean monster Choi Hong Man, who stands at 219 centimeters tall and weighs 150 kilograms. You might think that the monk stands no chance, but 9 minutes into the fight, Yi Long performs an incredible kick and sends the giant into knockout. Subsequently, the referee even had to console the big guy. Did he burst out crying? This time, the Shaolin monk entered the ring with the legendary Muay Thai fighter Buakaw Por Pramuk. Buakaw has been called the toughest MMA fighter around, but he was defenseless in front of the invincible Yi Long. Just look with what savagery he deals with his opponent. Now that's what I call a fatality. Next on the Shaolin fighters list was New Zealand MMA fighter Brad Riddle. They met in the ring in China, and right away, things did not go according to plan. For Brad. Watch as Yi Long blocks a strike with his face. All that iron head training had not been in vain. And you call that a punch? Now this is a punch. This fight might seem unremarkable if you didn't know that Yi Long entered the ring with a high fever. But that didn't stop him from defeating one of the world's best kickboxers, Adrian Grote. He downed his opponent already in the first round. Really, man, he just gave in. The Shaolin fighter had an excellent first fight in the international ring. Would you like to be like this too? It is possible to become a Shaolin monk, but it's not easy. First, you need to become a novice at the Shaolin monastery. Every day you'll wake up at 5 a.m. regardless of the weather and then take part in 2 hours of group meditation. But don't even think about dozing off, because otherwise you'll get whacked with a stick by your supervisor and then have to thank him for the help. Then you'll have to learn a mere 72 Shaolin techniques, including the iron palm and things even tougher still. This is not a gym you visit twice a week. We're talking about whole days, one after another, devoted to training. Now, we'll show you what would await you. Novices must not only learn discipline, they have to move in perfect sync. Did you notice that guy who was out of step with the others? He can expect a good thrashing from his master. The Shaolin monks were dissatisfied with the fact that every man has one extremely vulnerable point. So they invented the iron crotch technique and thereby became impervious to harm. Oh, it's painful just to watch. But it looks like this monk is bored even. Martial arts masters claim that such practice can only do a man good, if you know what I mean. Oops, I guess they were really referring to something else. This unusual weightlifting starts with quite light weights, but eventually monks can even move a car. Maybe someone ought to tell them that they could put this training to work in a different way. But they definitely know how to meditate. Still think that's easy? Then watch as this monk meditates while sitting in hot oil. If you still aren't convinced that these guys possess real superpowers, here's proof. Don't try this at home. But you probably want to learn this trick. A monk throws a needle with such force that it breaks through a glass and pops the balloon placed behind it. Just 15 years of training and you too could be the life of any party. After this long preparation, your fingers will be so honed that you master the diamond finger technique. Did you think this was only possible in The Sims? Through hard training, you can learn to stand on 3, 2, or even just 1 finger. Only 10 people in the world are capable of this. Would you like to become the 11th? Yep, the monks are just not interested in doing things the usual way. Why would they if they can run up walls? That's why they love to train on steep cliffs. For them, this is just a route to their morning jog. But sooner or later, they have to get back down. For that, they use a ladder or they just scamper down on all fours.